Any atijo shida dani. Shalafia lewa. Just a Niger girl to the core. Hi, everybody. Hello, finest Shandy. Didn't they have a commercial for that Shandy drink? I think there was a commercial for the Shandy drink. Shandy. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Say hello. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Happy Tuesday. Hello, finest Shandy. Shawakwa. Hello, Mr. J. Shaw. What's going on, people? Come on in. Let's talk immigration. Let me make sure I have, okay, yeah, I have Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Delicious again. Shalafia lewa. Hello, Oshewa. Not anymore, right? But there was a time they had that commercial, right? Hello, Miss Mary. What's going on? Monique Morrison. Good to know. Hello, Mr. Oladumeji. Let's get to it. I say that a lot. You're the second person telling me that. A lot of some things I say a whole lot, like let's get to it. And one of my kid, my 12, listen, it will be a little sexy dreams because of my 12-year-old. That kid, I'm just glad you didn't come as a girl. Because God has a great sense of humor. He would have been a mini me, and one of us would be in jail for sure. This evening I was telling him, so he's in basketball. Mind you, he signed himself up for the basketball team and then came up and said, oh yeah, I joined the basketball team. And they're like, who's going to pay for it? Well, that's another story for another day. But anyway, mandatorily, we have to buy the specific team gear. So jumpsuit, practice gear, shoes. All kids have to do that. I'm telling you. One of us will be in jail. No, Pixie Dust, you're not late. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I hope you like it because I digress a whole lot. Like I have the attention span of a 2-year-old, so. But anyway, so now we all have to pay for those shoes, and that's on his father's tab because listen, his dad, he's a physician. His father's a doctor, so let him take that. But he pays the tuition anyway, so he's gonna take it. But I'm the Ijebu woman. I'm very, very frugal. I'm the kind of person that's got a champagne taste, but I don't want to pay more than the beer budget. Like that's me. That's me. If I don't have to pay full price for something, yeah, but I want the best. Well, listen, we'll figure it out later. Anyway, so we'll have to buy the shoes. And then I go, so what happened to the one we bought that they were selling for $120 something just less than a month ago when you started school? This kid is going to tell me, actually, it wasn't 120 because remember that it was on sale. So you really did not pay more than $80. Money, $80 Oshisha where actually, when did the teacher start? Well, technically, anyway, let's leave that alone. Hi, everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Adebola Lale. He's still alive, so hello, Miss Amaomi. I didn't hear back from you. I am an immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Got an immigration case. If it's a case that my firm handles, we can and do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. If you need to contact our office, contact information, kids or something, especially American kids, because my kids are born here. That's all they ever know. Now they will survive Nigeria because they have a Nigerian mother. Like I remember one day teacher was telling me there was a kid, they were playing a game, and this kid was whining. And I have zero, there's no whining in my house. And he kept whining because he was losing it. Like, teacher's going to say, dude, or it was a dude or bro, you can't live with my mom because, kids don't whine in Nigeria, and she's Nigerian. But hey, anyway, to contact our office, please call 334-341-4475. You can also text us to that number. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. Yeah, that's about it. We are on all social media platform. Well, not all. TikTok, YouTube, um, Facebook, Instagram. Please like and share our videos. I do this. I've committed to it. It's a labor of love. And every single day when I come across people who tell me you have no idea what the information you give, how it helps. When you have grown men crying, God is using you for something, right? So please share. You never know who the information is going to bless. And you all know the drill. Questions later on. So I want to talk about something that I talk about VAWA a lot, but I don't talk about when you are in immigration court and what options you have as far as filing for VAWA. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I actually met with a client today, and his story really, really hit me hard. And I was able to discuss, with the limited time that we had, able to discuss some things with him. But I'm hoping that he can join and have more information about what to expect in the immigration court when it comes to VAWA cases. So let's jump right in. Once again, this contact number is 334-341-4475. We can be reached by phone, text us. You can also contact us on WhatsApp. WhatsApp, we don't take calls. That's just company policy. It's strictly reserved for text messages, getting you information you need to make consultations, or for consultation with clients who prefer to have WhatsApp. So if you call us on WhatsApp, you're not going to get anyone to pick up your call unless it is I won't tell you my secret, but if I'm expecting someone and the only way they can communicate with me is WhatsApp, then I allow it on my computer. So I want to talk this evening about filing VAWA more than 2 years after divorce. Can you file for VAWA more than 2 years after you have been divorced from your abusive spouse? Is that even possible? Short answer is yes. And so we get more information about that. I have my notes here because I want you guys to understand that there are people who generally may be out of luck when it comes to affirmative self-petition in VAWA cases. And the only option they have may be filing VAWA cancellation and removal. So I'm going to explain, and I think I've done a video on it before, but I didn't go in depth like I want to this evening. So you have a better understanding that the fact that you have your VAWA case denied by USCIS and now you are in immigration court is not fatal to you getting your status. It may actually be a blessing in disguise, and you will understand why. So unless you've been living under a rock, VAWA is a way where you can get your own green card, where you become your own self-petitioner without the help of your spouse. In the case of where your spouse has been abusive, they have used your immigration status to threaten you. Those are examples of abuse. You must also be able to show that you're physically present. If you're not physically present, you have exemptions to when you can file for VAWA. You must also be able to show good fit marriage, qualifying relationship, you're a person of good moral character, you suffered abuse, and the spouse must be either a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse, right? That's the general requirements for affirmative VAWA petition. What is an affirmative VAWA petition? Affirmative means you're filing that petition with USCIS. And generally, USCIS has exclusive jurisdiction over petitions generally. Petitions are the underlying basis by which you can file for your green card. So example, I-130, I-360, I-140, I-360 for religious workers. What else? So, they are, the petitions are those that USCIS gets to decide on their own. And based on approval of that, you will become eligible to file your 485 green card application either with USCIS, or if USCIS no longer has jurisdiction over your case because you're in immigration court then you file it with the immigration court. So that's basically what affirmative means. You're filing with USCIS. Now, when can you file? Can you become eligible to file for VAWA outside? So when you file affirmative VAWA cases, you're able to file while you're still married, while you're separated, even after a divorce, as long as, this is a caveat there, as long as the divorce did not occur more than 2 years, you're not filing the petition more than 2 years after the divorce was final. Example, your final date of divorce is August 30, 2022. So you have till August 29, 2024 for USCIS to actually receive your VAWA petition in order for you to still qualify for an affirmative VAWA petition, self-petition. Now, what happens if you're no longer married? A good example would be someone who filed affirmatively VAWA petition, but then your case was denied by USCIS. Now you have found yourself in immigration court. You've been issued a notice to appear in immigration court, and now you're wondering what options do you have while you are in immigration court. So first stage of immigration court is you get a notice to appear in immigration court. That is your charging document. That basically gives EOIR jurisdiction to order you to come before it and gives it jurisdiction start over you. So you're done with USCIS for the most part, except you have a petition you're filing. Now, when you get that, the court now schedules your first hearing. First hearing is called the master calendar hearing. That is the hearing where you go before the judge, or if you have an attorney, sometimes we would file written pleadings. It's the same thing as you appearing in court. It's saying, this is what the DHS has alleged against you. These are your responses to those allegations. For the most part, we would admit the allegations because there isn't any point fighting whether you're a citizen or legal permanent resident because you're not, and whether you exceeded your unlawful status because you have. It's a waste of time. Then the judge will put in an order saying they find you removable and designate a country to be removed to. So as you know, I will use Nigeria as an example because I'm Nigerian. So, but in the same order, it's called a scheduling order. The judge will not give you X number of days to file any motions, applications for relief that you want to present before the court as defense against your removability from the United States. And then schedule an individual hearing, which is a merit hearing, by which when the judge will now hear what your defense is, with your supporting documents, defense to you being removed from the country. That's where VAWA cancellation and removal comes into play. That is an application for relief for someone who has been abused by their spouse, but you're only able to file VAWA cancellation and removal, just like the name says, only if you have been placed in deportation removal proceedings. You cannot file VAWA cancellation removal with USCIS. No, it is an application that is solely accessible when you are in deportation proceedings. I understand nobody wants to be in removal proceedings. Because then 𝒂𝒏𝒈𝒂𝒏𝒕 ẹjọ́ ibo lẹ ní ẹ dá mi padà sí Naija, mo lè padà sí Naija, àmọ́ ti wà mí by 20 years, right? But the fear is still there. I get it. However, these are the advantages that VAWA cancellation or removal has. And let's go through them. Now, when you file for a VAWA with USCIS, the list is you've got to show, like I said, good faith, shared residency, abuse, qualifying relationship, physical presence, good moral character. With VAWA cancellation or removal, you're not required to prove good faith. There is no requirement with VAWA cancellation removal to prove good faith. The main things you have to prove with VAWA cancellation removal are that you are a person of good moral character, that you have been physically present in the United States for 3 years preceding the time you apply for VAWA cancellation removal before the court, that you have suffered abuse at the hands of your citizen or green card holder spouse, that you will be subjected to, you or your child will be subjected to extreme hardship if you're not allowed to stay in the country, and that you're not inadmissible on any other ground. Good faith is not a requirement. In a regular self-petition affirmative VAWA petition, you are required to show good faith marriage. That's not a requirement when it comes to VAWA cancellation removal before the immigration court. Unlike a regular cancellation removal that you need to be here 10 years and all that, and also show that a qualified relative will suffer extreme hardship. In a VAWA cancellation removal, you can be the person to show that you will be the person to suffer extreme hardship if you're not allowed to stay. That's another thing. Now, when you file it, so you file it on a 42B EOR 42B application form. That's the name of the form. That form is also used for cancellation removal, the general one. But you will select, as a battered person that you've been subjected to battery or extreme cruelty. When you file a 42B application for relief with immigration court, and it's been duly filed, based on that, you will be eligible to file for a work authorization. So if you are in removal proceedings, unless you have filed, so you have two options. If you filed a VAWA self-petition, obviously you can file your 485 with the immigration judge and then just wait around until that goes, based on that, you can file your work permit and just wait until your petition is approved. With a VAWA cancellation removal, someone whose marriage his divorce has been more than 2 years, once that divorce has been more than 2 years, you're out of luck filing a self-petition VAWA case with USCIS. It's not the same case in immigration court. Immigration court, even those who've been divorced from the abusive spouse for more than 2 years, are still eligible to file VAWA cancellation removal in immigration court. Big difference. So there's no good faith. There is also the eligibility to file even after 2 years has passed since you got divorced from your abuser. And you don't need to prove qualifying relative. You yourself can be the person who would suffer extreme hardship. Now, once you are granted the 42B application, VAWA cancellation removal, there is no need for you to now file a separate green card application. The granting of that, once the immigration judge approves your application, that basically grants you legal permanent residency status. And what will follow is they will mail you your green card after that. Because once the judge grants you that, that is granting you legal permanent residency in the United States. Further, if your abuser was a citizen, after 3 years as a legal permanent resident that was granted VAWA cancellation removal, you will become eligible to apply for citizenship. Okay, that is a big deal. Just want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out, because this I really wanted to take time. And I think I see Mr. K here, so that makes me happy. Let's see. So there are some times where you feel, okay, now my VAWA petition has been denied by USCIS. I've been divorced from that crazy person for more than 2 years. What are my options? I don't want to get divorced, married to anybody. All these things go on. So I want people to understand that is immigration court is not where anyone wants to be. Listen, if there are some cases that I would rather just not have my client and hopefully, there's a case right now that I have 3 cases pending prosecutor discretion request, but there's one that is just really dear because this lady just needs to be out of immigration court. So we have an approved I-130. It's not going to be feasible for us to go through the court. And so we'll just see how that goes. However, there are some instances where you have a better option, a better chance higher chance of having a green card through the immigration court system. It's a one-shot kind of thing. If you get denied the VAWA cancellation removal, you have a right to appeal, yes, but it's always best not to even try to get to that stage. So what am I saying? It's not something you file and you think you can defend yourself in court. I'm gonna need lawyer. Can you lawyer for more? Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna go to lawyer for help me. So I ain't gonna sit here and say, hey, listen, can you Google something about headaches and money and no? Okay, one symptoms. Oh, those symptoms look like what I've been going through. Guess what? You know what? I can figure it out. So I don't need a doctor. I'll just go get something that, based on what they say, I know what to get. That's going to be sheer foolishness. No other way to put it. VAWA cancellation removal is not something you want to attempt on your own without legal representation. Understand, a whole lot rides on that. So it's always, always, always in your best interest to have legal representation. But for those who are, out of status, now, how do you file it? Let me reiterate once again. You can only get VAWA cancellation removal if you are in deportation / removal proceedings. You cannot file it with USCIS. That's why it's called cancellation of removal. You are in removal proceedings. Now, I'm not telling you guys, okay, when the ICE money will, arrest me and put me in immigration court. That's not what I'm saying. Just saying. That's not what I'm saying. But if that happens and you've been abused, you've been here more than 3 years, you would suffer extreme hardship. What else? You're a person of good moral character. You're not inadmissible. You don't have any felony convictions. Hey, you're like, hallelujah. Okay, this is my chance. Not so. Hear me loud and clear. I'm telling you, go call. But sometimes you may be out of luck. So to know that you may have that option. Now, just to go a step further, the fact that you have filed, because there are a lot of people who are in immigration court, but will still file VAWA petition with USCIS. And because I have cases like that, we go to court and say, hey, judge, we have a pending petition. We have a 45 we have filed. Would ask that the court, just put it on the, administrative close this case, whatever case may be, pending when this, the petition is going to be approved, right? But if you file a VAWA self-petition with USCIS that has jurisdiction over the I-360, that does not preclude you from filing your EOIR 42B application for relief VAWA cancellation removal in immigration court. So what am I saying? You can actually have both. If you qualify for both at the same time, you probably would have the cancellation one approved faster if your individual hearing is scheduled on time. So that will be when you will present all your evidence to the court. Sometimes you may get the ICE attorney to stipulate that you have met all the requirements and stipulate that they will not object should the court just put something on the record and grant you that. That means that you must have solid evidence. Okay, so that's all she wrote. I hope that is helpful to somebody. Hey, Miss Joy, because not everyone has. There's some people who are like, I've been divorced 5 years. VAWA was not granted. Appeal was dismissed. What is my option? What other option do I have? If you take away no need for the good faith, you can still become eligible even if the divorce has been more than 2 years. If you're in immigration proceedings, I'm not saying turn yourself in. I'm just letting you know that is an option, that if notice to appear in immigration court comes and you qualify based on all the criteria for cancellation, VAWA cancellation, then please understand that it may not be end all. And 42B grants you legal permanent residency status. You get, once it's granted, you get a green card mailed to you. While you file the 42B, you're eligible to file for work authorization. Unlike when you have just a file petition with USCIS, until that has been granted, you don't get a C31 EAD. When you file a 42B application, and once it's been duly filed with the court and send a copy, you file a copy with USCIS, that is the basis by which you are eligible to file your 765 while the judge schedules your individual hearing to hear what your case is about for your cancellation. That's all she wrote. Okay, that's a lot. I talk a lot. I know. Some of us don't like. Y'all need. I'm going to see if by some miracle my oldest kid will come on live and just say hello. And when I say he says hello, he'll probably just do this like and be out. Hardly talks. He's a senior this year. SJ, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I'm telling you, the kid he doesn't like, he cannot be, I mean, I was trying to make him a lawyer, but he's not talkative. He's not, I took all the talking genes from my kids. TJ likes to talk, but he gets up and like, you know what? Hey, mama, you can have all this talking. We'll find right here. But anyway, hello, Miss Catherine. How are you? Hi, I have very hard and important questions and situations. So disclaimer, everybody knows, if you have anything that is specific to your case, you will need to set up a proper paid consultation. I don't offer it. We get those calls every day. I don't offer free consultation. I don't. I've never been to my doctor's office and they tell me, oh, you're free to go in without paying for every single office visit. That's the truth. This is my free consultation. If I'm going to sit down and that is how I make a living, time. That's how attorneys make a living. Imagine if I had free, like Christy Ruiz says, if I had free consultation, I won't get anything done and I won't make any money. Y'all are making your money, right? And if I share now, Abi, just saying. But I give general responses to questions. So, okay, I'm going to put this up. Let's see. I do have pending, but I went to interview my wife. I was interview based on marriage, not vow. The officer asked me, it said I wanted to be interview based on marriage. The vow was because my wife went in jail for hitting me and come back apologizing to me, so I've forgiven her, so it was too late. A vow was already filed. She interviewed my wife and me, but I don't understand why my information now is personal. I called them, they asked him to contact. Yes, that's exactly what they would tell you, because if you went there with the abuser, they have a duty to make sure that it's not something in a situation where you're being coerced. I don't know why you would do that. Like, you file for vow and then go back. Even if you've forgiven the person, forgiving someone doesn't mean you have to give them control of your life again. But yes, that's probably what you're going to have to do, because now your case is confidential. And they can't give you any information unless you contact government service center. You have to prove who you are. I-45 pending based on 360. Transferred my case to NBC. So I'm assuming your vow petition has been approved. JD-14. When can you expect for them to send you the RFP for the medical? I cannot tell you that. That's they've already sent you the deficiency notice. So your deficiency notice will tell you this: two things. If we're going to schedule you an interview, then if we send you an interview notice, then bring it to your interview. But if we're not going to schedule an interview, then we'll send you an RFP for the medical. So just wait to see what they send you. Okay. Kobina, Yahweh bless you in all you do to help us immigrants. We're all in the same boat. Please, will divorcing my wife affect my vow application of farmer facia? Work permit advance were filed in June 2021. No. If you don't have to, or tell people when you want to stick with affirmative filing, if you don't have to, but you're separated, nothing stops you from carrying on with your life. I have clients that have kids with other people. They're still legally married. You just cannot remarry. You can't. Obviously, you're still married. But if you get divorced, don't remarry while your vow is suspended, because that cancels it out. But divorcing will not affect your case, because there's nothing that says you have to stay married to the abuser. Okay. All right. Let me go to Yes, listen, life is too. Y'all, I'm telling you, I want tower trial. I know. I want time. I woke up yesterday and went to sleep minding my own business. Genuinely minding my business. On Monday, woke up yesterday morning. No, on Sunday. Yesterday was Monday. See, I can't remember. And my whole let me take this up. My whole right side of my mouth was swollen inside. I could barely, like, I was like, okay, I want that deal. I think I had some kind of gum infection. I don't know. But anyway, the speed I used to call my physician, I was like, listen, I'm coming down right now. If y'all don't call in something for me, because anyway, as God will have it, they called in something from in the pharmacy, and within there's some drugs that you would take. I don't know how people do. Listen, I'm just saying for myself, because I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't have um the ability to the tolerance level for alcohol. It's just because I deal with migraines. I never listen. I it was something that was born with something. I got it from my dad, and it causes you to have severe headaches. And my mom and my parents, God bless them, it was nothing. All try Niger. Ati yala dura yes, come to the United States. Did an MRI, like, oh, there we go. But I never claim it because the power of life and death is in the tongue. So I never claim any illness. No, I always say, they say that's the diagnosis. But my brain, it works in this way. Whose report will I believe? Igbatoba long, he's able to single-handedly deal. So it's a situation where the anticipated lung relief will be a surgery at the base of my neck. That's not gonna happen. So when Jesus decides, because he is the great healer, he is Jehovah Nissi. When he decides, he will do it. But anyway, because of that, I cannot stomach alcohol. So there are a lot of things I don't have tolerance for. But the drugs they gave me yesterday, I was like, ha. No. And I'm very hyper. Like, I'm over 5 foot tall, but I'm a whole lot of energy. When something knocks you out, you know that, okay, there are a lot of things I needed to get done yesterday. I was like, oh no. No. But I need health, don't she? All this stuff. But anyway, okay, let's get to it. Yeah, I say that a lot. No audio? Oh, that's you. That's on you. Okay. No, that's you, Mr. Rashid, because I'm friend you and you are on Instagram and all this way. So no. Okay, it was just him. My I-45 was submitted before my national interest were approved. Oh, congrats. So what's your question? Let's see a question that follows that. Fatima, can someone who has felony file again after denial? You want to see an immigration attorney for that? That's not a yes or no question. You want to have your case evaluated. My husband filed for a daughter at the age of 21 since 2017. Up to now, we haven't heard anything from them. This September, she will be 26. What area can you help? She's in Nigeria. So if your husband is a citizen and she was, still 21 and under 21, and she qualified as an immediate relative, generally the age is frozen at the time that the petition is filed. So because of the backlog and all that, as long as she qualified as an immediate relative at the time of filing then her age is frozen as an immediate relative. If your husband filed as a permanent resident, then there's a calculation, there's a way you calculate the age based on when it was filed, how long it takes to get a visa approved, available, and all. So if she qualified as an immediate relative, generally that age is frozen at that time, so it doesn't matter if the child is not over the age of 21. But that is just general information. I don't know anything about your case. Can you help with my appeal? It depends on what kind of appeal it is. Banky 288. I have been divorced for more than 2 years. Can I still file for VA? Let me be very clear on that. If you're talking about filing for VA with USCIS, short answer to that is no. It has to be within the 2-year frame. However, if you've been divorced for more than 2 years, I'm not hoping you go to immigration court, but if you've been divorced more than 2 years and you end up in removal proceedings, and you still qualify for VA based on all the criteria, then even if it's more than 2 years since you're divorced, you still may be eligible to file for VA in removal proceedings under the VA cancellation removal application 42B. Now, I hope that helps to figure that out. Hello, Ms. Giwa, how are you? Thank you so much, AJ. Someone said, no, bro, it's better you remarry. Well, the people have spoken. If your spouse abandoned you after 8 months without communication and don't even know where he is, can I still file VA after divorce? If you can file VA within 2 years of divorce, within the 2 years from your divorce, but understand that you have to be able to show that the abandonment rises to the level of extreme cruelty. Mr. Elijah just says Ed Banky capital N-O. Thank you, Delicious. Okay. Hi, ma'am. If I file for asylum I-589, do I file for work permit together? No, you have to wait 150 days. What usually happens if the AOS interview is complete and pending, but the citizen spouse is filing divorce? That's something you want to see an attorney with everybody's case. Generally, if you're divorced before your immigration visa is approved, then you're no longer eligible for the classification. But that's something you want. If you have an attorney, you want to sit down and talk to your attorney about it. If you don't, you want to sit down and talk to an attorney about it. Do you handle removal proceedings cases? I do, but not every type. So it has to be something that is within what I do. So what I do would include asylum cases in court, VA cancellation removal, green card applications 485 that you file with the court. I think that's about it. Yeah, I know my limit. My work permit is pending 270 days. My spouse is struggling. What to do? You can request expedited processing and see if they grant that. Thank you, Ms. Oladimiji. I tell you, the way you took my horn, God bless you real good. And it's not me. I wish I knew it. Well, I don't wish I knew everything, because if I knew everything, it would not be good. But I think I don't take myself seriously. Well, my work is serious, so I'm serious most of the time. But the one thing I know that when I get into my office, whether it's my own office here or in Demopolis, I don't do anything before I get on my knees and I say, Here I am again, God. I know I don't ask for too much because it is my right as your child to come before you and to give you all the glory because I know I cannot start this day without your favor, without the option to function in this in the space and the capacity that you have given me. So do another one today that you alone will receive all the glory. And if we get denials, we're like, okay, Lord, what is the next option? What is the next step? Where do we go from here? If we get approvals, it's thank you, God, because it's only because of you, because your hand of favor. Like my 5-year-old client that you have no idea how happy I was to get his work permit and social security number card and text his dad. And I mean, when you have someone who intentionally refuses to let this kid because she says there's no reason for him to go to school, he doesn't need anything, no identity, nothing. And to let them know they qualify for VAWA and now he has his own identity. That's the reward. And it's not because of anything that I know. It's because of the knowledge that God himself gives. Because without the gift from God, they ain't nothing. That keeps me grounded. Sashi, I have my work permit, but my spouse didn't show up to interview. What to do? Consult with a lawyer. Let me say this. I see a lot of people when I ask them, what is your immigration status? They'll tell me work permit. I have a work permit. Work permit is not a status. It doesn't grant you any status. It just allows you to work because you have a pending application. Once that pending application ends, if it's not in, if it doesn't end in your favor, that's the end. So work permit is not a status. It just allows you to work while your case is being processed. Okay. But if your spouse did not show up at the interview, then you want to discuss your case with an attorney to see what your options are. How long does my passport have to be valid to apply for adjustment of status? It has nothing to do with your passport. That's if you want to travel out. Thank you, Miss Saladri. I'm telling you, I should put you on my payroll for sure. For real. I'm not even kidding. Gold Skin Care Cosmetics. We send messages of questions and box. It's easier to. I'm doing Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So if you don't put in the comment section, that's the easiest way for me. I don't do much tech stuff. No. So I'll see if I get to, but do you handle asylum cases? Yes, I do. How to get I-360 receipt number. Send a letter to Vermont Service Center. How long does I-751 take? So, you remember on, was it last week? I think so. Today's Tuesday, right? So, we got, my client doesn't want, how do I put this? Let's just say we have 2 cases now without interviews. This client, as because it's important when a client tells me, please do not, and I don't ever give any clients details when we put, because I have someone who helps me. I got people who make things work for us as a company. So, but my content, I have OCD, and they tell me I love to be in control. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I have to, but I'm also aware that there's some people who just don't want anything that has to do with them, because some people are just not paranoid, but they just that anyway. Long story short, so 2 cases so far that were self-petition 751 without interviews. Now, how long it takes, I can't really tell you, because the truth of the matter is, I still have a 751 that we filed end of last year that is still pending an interview. That was a self-petition. But then I have both that were filed last year that we have approved without interviews were also filed last year. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason with USCIS. That's just what it is. Okay. Can I travel out of state with Val? Out of state where? When you say with Val, do you what do you have? Can you file Val if you're still married? Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you file for adjustment of status and work permit if a Nigerian passport is expired? Generally, yes. Okay, let me see if I can go to this question, whatever. 𝐨𝐥𝐚𝐥𝐸. Can you file for Vawa for abandonment? He abandoned me after we got married, but I just got approved for divorce a month ago. Can I still file for Vawa? I don't have all his abuse messages anymore. That's something that you would need to discuss with me or any immigration attorney over a proper consultation. I charge for consultation. I don't offer free consultation at all. Consultation is 30 minutes, 130, 45 minutes, 200, 1 hour, 230. What I do, however, is if you retain my services within 2 weeks of the consultation, I offer a courtesy credit of that consultation fee towards, if you're going to do payment plan, because we offer payment plan, towards the last scheduled payment. So basically, it's a win-win. So if you know it's something you will pursue at the end, then you will get it credited back to your legal fees. But that's something, because just saying abandonment, what does that entail? What is, when you expand, if we file a back case and say, he abandoned me, that doesn't rise up to level of extreme cruelty. What happened? What led to the abandonment? What was his treatment towards you like? What was his behavior towards you like? What did he do? Did he call you names? Did he, threaten you? Would he just leave the house if you're asking to do stuff? Did he come in with people who people come into your house thinking he was him or was someone else when he was away? There's a whole lot of moving parts. So you have to be able to build your case and make a case for battery or extreme cruelty, and then everything else that falls into that goes with it: good faith, shared residency, all of that. So that's what a consultation gives you to be able to talk more about your case. Okay, so I think that is about. Money is a big issue in marriage. All you do is eat and sleep, and I have no work permit. Better off without you. Remind me again, what was the case you filed? Is it advised to file for after an interview? I'm being ill-treated because I'm unable to contribute financially. Generally, that would fall within abuse. But if you've had an interview, can you file for VAW after an interview? Yes. Is it advisable to file for after an interview? Depends on your case. One of the things I try to do with every case is, if I have a case where my client has a pending 485, I request that they transfer that 485 to, send a message to, send a letter to the field office, letting them know, please don't deny this. Things have changed. We're going to be filing for VAW. And the law requires us to send in the VAW case within 30 days after making that request. So they have 30 days to see how things go, because that saves your attorney fees of additional attorney fees filing a new 485. That saves you additional filing fees of filing a new one. So if you're able to save that, that's fine. So even if and I've done that even after an interview. So it just depends on what you do with it. Now, if you want to start all over again and file a new I-485, you're also able to do that, with your understanding that once you do that, you have to withdraw the other one, because you cannot have more than 145 pending. So, but in your case, better off without you want to speak to an attorney so that you know exactly what your options are. What is advice? Just like someone, there's a guy that consulted with me. I want to say sometime in March of this year. They had the interview. Everything was fine. But before the interview, he had been going. So they started this case in 2019. This will be the third interview they had. But he had endured a lot. And the third time around, things went pretty good with the interview. But even after that, 2 months, 3 months, I was not the attorney who represented him. Things got worse with the marriage. But in March, he consulted with me and says, "Hey, I need to get out. Like I just have to file for that. I need to get out." But I said, "Listen, I can sit here and as an attorney and tell you, oh yeah, let's file for that. Let's go ahead and do that." And I tell people, listen, if you're going to switch over, keep in mind you've waited this long. You may be closer to getting a green card than you starting a Vawa petition. I'm not telling you to stay in an abusive marriage. I'm telling you that if you've endured this long, you may just need less than a year before you get to your goal. Because I can sit here and tell you, yeah, we're going to start. This is what you have to pay me and take your money without telling you that. But that is not the kind of person I am. And I told him the same. I said, based on what you're telling me, based on what you've shown me, I truly believe that your case will be approved sooner than you think. This is not. And then after the interview, and then they got an RFE. He sent me the RFE. I took a look at it and I said, listen, this is completely very straightforward. This officer just doesn't want to approve your case yet. She just wants to mess with you a little bit more. Just like him. He goes, I'm nervous. I understand. But see, I've seen worse. If that's all they're asking from you, I can guarantee you that within the next 3-4 months, you will get an approval of your case. I don't usually say that, but based on what I have seen. So I said, hang in there. You're much closer to getting your green card than you realize. Can I tell you people that this week, his green card was approved? So sometimes it's not just about, there's some people who just don't want to hear it. They're just done with the spouse. I respect that. But I will let you know, like, if you're able to just endure just a little bit longer, you may actually be better off that way than, and now he's going to get a 10-year green card because he's been married for more than 2 years. So he doesn't even have to worry about a 751 petition or filing to remove the conditions, nothing. He's fine. So everyone's case is different. But anyway, all right, people. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can. Good evening, Mr. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓. How are you? Okay, let's address this real quick. I got pregnant for my new boyfriend while my Vawa is pending. Will that affect my case? And if child doesn't carry his name, will that affect my case? Generally, no. There's nothing that says you can't have a child. It just says you can't marry. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And once again, if we can help you, contact information is. Thank you, Mr. Olajumeji. I was not the attorney on his case. He had an attorney, but he wanted me to take over. I was like, I don't need to take over. I don't need to take your money when all I can tell you is just hold on. That's sometimes the consultation is just, that's what it is. It's not every consultation that converts to a client, because I have to be able to go to bed at night and sleep and with a clear conscience, knowing that, okay, you needed that help. This is what we need to do in your case. If I know that you don't need to, we can wait a little bit longer, why would I not want you to know that? I mean, it's just common decency. Listen, I bypass that. I digress. So anyway, once again, our contact number is 334-341-4475. Let us know if we can help you with immigration cases. We are based in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all states. Immigration is federal practice. So that means that if an attorney is licensed in one state and they practice immigration law, they can help you and represent you regardless of the state you live in. Hawaii and the surrounding islands, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. Yes, we can. Okay. So please share this video. I'm sure there's someone who would need it. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, put in Olale Immigration in all platforms, and you will see my face.